Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and after some technical difficulties, Pokemon Worlds has officially begun, and in the opening ceremony, it was announced by Ishihara, the CEO of Pokemon, that we will be getting Pokemon game news on the closing ceremony Sunday. So, I mean, like, everyone knew this. No surprises, though, no secrets. Closing ceremony is going down, Pokemon news is happening. Now, Ishihara talked about new game information for Pokemon, so like Pokemon Legends ZA is obvious, but does it actually turn into like a Pokemon Presents? But it is closing ceremony, so how much time can they take? Also, I'm expecting like Pokemon TCG Pocket release date. What I am hoping for is at least a small teaser. Just give us like a name, give us a small project idea about what else is coming for Pokemon, because Pokemon Legends ZA next year is not enough. Like, we need a spin-off game. We need a larger project. We need something hype to happen inside of Pokemon, and all of these weirdos in the community aren't making things any better. I did a video talking about what to expect for the Pokemon Legends ZA trailer, going off of the Pokemon Presents in August that we had for Pokemon Legends Arceus, and there was tons of information, and this was also after getting a pretty big Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl trailer. So it's like, instead of getting news throughout summer or another direct or something, we're just going to get the huge info drop. So yeah, it's going to finally tell us what's going on with Pokemon Legends ZA and hopefully give us like really good mechanics, so we have a really good idea as to what is going on. So that's pretty much it on like that kind of news. Keeping up with Pokemon Worlds, we are on Worlds Watch right now. Who's getting disqualified? What's going on? So if you go and check the pairings, we have this. That's because it might look suspicious, like, oh, all these players got like disqualified or free bye, or what happened with all these dropouts. No, you get a round 1 bye if you have enough championship points from the season. So these are the highest performing players for the season, which means it's really easy to find cheaters inside of it. Riley Factura just got disqualified at Pokemon Internationals for having hatched Pokemon, was like the #1 championship point player, and then didn't gain championship points, which confirms this qualification. We have Joseph, just everyone. Like, the more I scroll through and look at this list, Paul Ruiz, Renzo Navarro, so on and so forth, James Evans, like, yep, all the cheaters are here. Who would have guessed hacking gives you an advantage in Pokemon? And then we're also seeing some other features inside of it, so you watch the cringe stream, most likely to win, even though Wolf hasn't made it to Day 2 Worlds for the last 2 years, putting Wolf Glick there. And then this dude got second at Internationals, which kind of explains the bye, but apparently a player to watch for. And then some other stuff also. Oh, wait, these guys. Yeah, and just feature all the cheaters, why don't you? Same thing on the TCG side. Pokemon Company is corrupt, Play Pokemon is all friends, in what seems to just be a money laundering scheme to allow their friends to cheat and then steal prize money. Tord, always getting talked about, always getting features, is a career-long cheater through slow play and other manipulations of the game. But no, we always gotta do the fan service, we always gotta mention him. Same thing for Wolf, no matter how many times he's gotten caught cheating, his entire career of cheating. They talked about, like, oh, he was in, finals for 2012 Worlds, and that was in Hawaii. Where we can see that very early on, Wolf was a blatant cheater. But this was also where we had, like, Cybertron competing and stuff, and all the other things going on with Pokemon. So here we can actually see how scripted and fake Play Pokemon is if, like, Wolf does well at the other event that happens in Hawaii after it being over a decade since going to the finals in Hawaii. So just kind of keep an eye on that stuff. We also have the event, which is kind of neat, Sylveon event. I probably should claim it just to kind of see the stats on it, but I'm imagining it's a competitive Sylveon with at least good IVs or something, and maybe comes with an item or something. So yeah, there's more to claim. I did a video recently about like catching up, claiming everything before Pokemon Worlds. Now we have the everyone code for Pokemon Worlds with a previous championship Pokemon. So there we go, and we can also see what's happening with the Pokémon Center stuff. My video is getting a lot more views than I expected, but also it's just kind of making everything weirder, because a lot of comments are saying like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal, or oh, there were item limits, I was there, but then you ask 10 different people and you're getting 11 different stories about this thing. So probably way too personal for public Twitter, but I don't know. I think it's important to mention, please do not blame staff members at the center for issues. They are suffering and doing what they can, spread love and support tickets. Saw a girl in a corner in a ball crying in the Pokemon Center. That was me. To the heat, crowds, sounds, overstimulation, going from joy to getting upset when I saw everything was gone, had a panic attack. Panic attacks are pretty normal. I have 2 to 3 every week, but normally I can get out of a public space if needed to, if I need to deal with it. All the backlash and hate going out, I wanted to come and say thank you to my friends and Pokemon staff for offering me water, moving me out of the crowd, and the manager guy who'd stood next to me for 40 minutes as I cried on the floor to make sure no other staff would mistakenly tell me to move. It sucks for everyone, the staff, players, spectators, and everyone who didn't get the 1 p.m. first time slot. Truly, my heart goes out to the folks who didn't get what they wanted. So yeah, if you didn't have like the 1 p.m. slot, you didn't get a skateboard, you didn't get a ukulele, and then as the slots went later and later, everything went. And if you had a later slot, it was just completely over. And now people are having breakdowns over it. Now, I was hoping that when I saw a don't blame staff at the Center for Issues, this would actually be like a post from staff or something like, hey, we couldn't do anything about how bad it was, but it's really bad. At least the staff is like trying. Like, I think once the staff realized things were wrong, they were like trying to make it better, but the Pokemon Company fumbled with the entire setup, so the staff can't really do too much about it. But also some people are reporting that the staff was bad or apathetic or something. Could be out of frustration, could just be expected with like how workforce stuff goes and Pokemon Company incompetence. And also just seemed like a completely miserable experience. I waited in a hot line for an hour past my time. So even then, like, if you had the time slot, you'd still have to wait a long time to get in. Other people were going in, still overcrowded. Got in and was told all the double deck boxes and world mats were sold out. There was no limit on the mats. And 4 for the deck boxes, apparently. So this is where people are saying, like, oh, there were no limits. Oh, people are over-exaggerating. There were limits. It was just a mess. 4 double deck box limit. Like, those are gone immediately. And then no limits on the mats. Who thought that was a good idea? And then it naturally makes sense that there was, like, 1 limit on skateboard, ukulele. You didn't see people loading up on, like, 10 of those from all the social media posts. So, like, there were some restrictions, but there needed to be a lot more limits or a lot more stock or a lot more restocking. Some comments said that they were restocking, but they were still out by the end of the day, and then they're doing like a big restock every day for the Pokemon Center, so that doesn't make sense. Like, if you restock a little bit throughout the day, and you're planning a big restock at the end, once the shelves are empty, bring out more stuff. Unless they only have like an allocation for that entire day, in which case the time slot things don't make sense. Now, people are completely having their vacation ruined and having breakdowns and stuff. Love that the things I was looking forward to getting to commemorate my season were sold out. Influencers that were already shipped one of everything also getting early access to the center is a joke. Prioritize your competitors. And this is a big thing I've realized. It seems like the big issue was the influencers just buying a max limit of everything and spending like over $1,000 and stuff. And they got the early access, but they also had things like shipped to them and sent to them, and they got creator packages as well. Now, my entire channel is talk about how every other creator in Pokemon is a bad actor, and this really shows it because they're hoarding and abusing their privilege of having the Pokemon Company invite them out, but the Pokemon Company is awful to invite bad people out in the first place, and now that's ruining the situation for everyone that didn't get the early access and privileged experience that that these bad actor creators are getting. And that's why Pokemon sucks. It's not worth competing, and you have to sell your soul and be evil if you want the Pokemon Company to recognize you and give you free shit. Awesome. And then we also have a report from Pokebeach, full catalog of the merchandise. So if you want to see the full catalog of merchandise, go and support him, click on the webpage and all that fun stuff. I just mostly want to talk about the experience here. If you're going to the Pokemon Center, you'll go through 3 different lines. A line for your time slot at the bottom of the convention center, 20 minutes before, then you'll be taken into a hot parking garage. Make sure you bring water and a fan. I saw a tweet that's like, yay, thanks Pokemon Company for handing out water to the Pokemon Center line. You put your players and your patrons into that situation to begin with. That's not worthy of praise, but still, like, yeah, summer in Hawaii, also not great, and then you have people outside. So yeah, it's just a miserable experience overall for Worlds. After this, you'll be taken to a 3rd line inside the convention center. Took 2 hours from when I arrived to when they entered the convention center, and maybe some things were still sold out. So yeah, some items may not have been available when I was inside. This guide could be missing a couple. Now, even though Pokemon Company incompetence and poor event management is expected, I was like looking at all the numbers and stuff of how many people were like registered, and it's over 900 for VGC, it's over 1900 for TCG, including like all of the divisions. And then there's spectator passes, there's parents for the younger divisions and stuff, there's influencers, there's staff. So there's an outrageous amount of people here. And that also kind of makes sense going into the restrictions that we're seeing, instead of just like, oh, you get X amount of championship points and you get a Worlds invite, and now there's too many people at Worlds. So it's going to be a lot less people at future Worlds, and it's going to be easier to manage. Now I'm thinking about doing a bigger video on this, but it seems really relevant for this Worlds because a lot of problems are from too many people qualifying for Pokemon Worlds, and then that's making the events too long, that's making a lot of problems. And this was addressed by the Pokemon Company already, because they were like, yeah, we see how many invites we handed out, and we have to change it for 2025. So it's a mix where it's like, yeah, the championship point system has been bad pretty much the entire time it's out, so that's Pokemon Company incompetence as well. They're fixing it. The community is crying about it because everyone's entitled. Another thing I've been covering for over a decade. They think you don't have to work for anything, shouldn't have to put in any effort. Everyone gets a free invite to Worlds and the highest caliber of play no matter what. So we're going to have to see how that plays out for 2025. But yeah, there's going to be way less invites total, and the championship point system is going to be different. And then now we just kind of have to, like, see what happens with the hat checks, if there's disqualifications, if it gets publicity. Because, like, after 2024, I'm not expecting it to happen again on that scale, because that was a blindside. And then these entitled players didn't realize, like, how many people were crying and how easy it was to catch them for cheating and all this other stuff. So does it get locked down? Are they still emboldened? Who knows? But that is your Pokemon Worlds update. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.